Hi, Steve. How are you today?
Great. Good to see you, Kelly.
Good to see you too. So, I just wanted to take a few minutes and ask you if you would share with us the opportunity that you had to go through the 15 Laws of Growth Mastermind that we did with you and your team.
Yeah, I loved it. In fact, it was several different books were presented as possibilities, and this one intrigued me the most, these 15 laws. And I think I had heard one time that people who got to the end of their life had some regrets. And the three things they wish they would have done differently is risk more, reflect more, and invest in eternal things. So when I saw the table of contents, the law of intentionality, the law of reflection, um, the law of the ladder, and what was the other one? The law of expansion. Those just really, really intrigued me. So I was all in and I learned a ton.
You were all in. You did a great job. So, obviously, there were quite a few of you on the team that went through it. But what for you was the best part of the overall lesson? Like coming out of it, like going in, I know what you expected. You had, you went through the chapters and you saw the things that you were excited about. But what was the really the best thing that ended up happening as part of that?
Well, it's been said that if you teach me something, it'll be helpful. But if you help me discover something, it's transformational. And
Okay.
so the facilitator did a great job asking us questions to reflect on our life and how can you make your greatest impact. And then I read a quote by Bob Buford that's referenced in the book, and it says, "You won't get very far in your second half without knowing your life mission." And
Mm.
so this paralleled something else I was going through at the time, which was part of Braveheart. And they just I mean, it was really cool about how God just revealed my mission, my identity through this course. And because there was so much reflection built in and then interaction with participants, I discovered a ton. And that's what's transformational, not just reading a book or learning something, but discovery. And
Hmm.
the facilitator did a great job with that.
That's awesome. So, what have been, I mean, it's been probably 6 months, I think, since we went through the program. But what has been one of the things that still has carried through with your team? Like, have you guys still been talking about a particular thing that happened, or has there been common language learned that you guys can continue to reference as you went through the mastermind?
Well, for me personally, I always think that if we want revival on our team or in our church, it's got to start here. So they say there's no I in team, but there is I in revival.
Uh-huh.
And so the whole concept of the ladder of expansion or the ladder of character, these are things that, I want the shadow out of my life. So I invite the light of God's presence in to drive out the darkness and make me the person he wants me to be, because it's in repentance that God brings refreshment and revival. Acts 3:19 says that. And so that's what I loved about this book, because the light comes in to expose the darkness, to say, I don't want any of that. I want all of God, and I need his presence in my life. And if it comes here, then it's going to impact my teammates. It's going to impact our church, etc.
Yeah, so you when you did it, you guys had the entire leadership team there, including Pastor Jonathan, the lead pastor. How important do you think it is that kind of the leader of the group be part of that mastermind?
Oh, that's critical. Yeah, it was so that we're all on the same page and we're all learning and growing together. It meant a lot to me that he was able to carve out that time, and I think it did pay dividends for our team. The other thing that was helpful for the team was just getting to know each other, valuing each other. We're all wired differently, and to appreciate each other and love each other better. I think that might have been the biggest takeaway.
It's just so you're saying like the connection that you developed because maybe you were talking on a deeper level than you would have if it was just day-to-day meetings.
Yeah, the connection and appreciation of the diversity, because we're wired differently. We bring different gifts to the organization. and to value one another. It brought unity, I think, because we there was transparency, which brings unity.
So we did learn that you don't have the skill of singing, but other people. I was just kidding. I don't
It's true.
know. We have a. That's why God gives us with people around us that can sing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what would you say to people considering joining a mastermind, even with maybe a group of people they don't know very well? What would you say? Because not everybody has the opportunity like you do to go through it with their counterparts, but do you think it would be good for somebody as well just joining another group of people?
Well, I think if you like the topic, so if the mastermind course is something you're interested in, then taking that step of inertia and momentum and these tiny habits just start building upon each other like a snowball going downhill. So I think it's awesome. I've been in groups with people I don't know, and I've benefited greatly. And the content and the facilitators are amazing. So I think it'd be worth the time and the effort to do it.
Yeah, we did learn, I think, that one of your counterparts, in order to get the exercise routine, decided that they were going to sleep in their exercise clothes each night. Is that still happening?
That was not me, so I can't speak to that, but that was funny.
That's hilarious.
Well,
So,
one thing I learned, Kelly, was that, um, and I appreciated this. You said you set your alarm 3 hours before your first event because you want to exercise, you want to spend time with God, etc. And I just thought that's kind of my routine already, and that was encouraging and reaffirming as well.
well, isn't it funny how you hear different people talking about things in like maybe just even a piece of it like fits into your puzzle a little bit and kind of encourages you along the way where maybe it wasn't necessarily the whole thing, but it was one extra piece that you could add to your puzzle that made it fit closer together.
Yes, right on.
Yeah. So tell me one thing out of the book that and out of the mastermind that has stuck with you the past 6 months since we finished.
Well, my pattern, going back to the 3 hour thing, is to start my morning on my knees and connect with God. And then I say my identity statement, which was reinforced through this book. And my identity statement, in short, is I'm a joyful, refreshing, reflective, free flowing river of God's Spirit, bringing His love, light, and living water into every situation, encouraging, comforting, and urging people to live a life worthy of God. And then the
So
law,
that was just the short version.
yeah, about 2.5 minutes. I recorded it on my phone. So now I've got it.
I love it.
And then I get my first cup of coffee. This is one of my values, first cup. And I just listen. And it's kind of that law of reflection. And I just think that's so critical to listen for God to speak to us and ask two questions: God, what do you want me to know? And what do you want me to do? And that was one of the takeaways from Mastermind was what's your next step?
Hmm.
So that was all really helpful as well.
That's great. So, those are really all the questions that I have, but do you have any last comments or thoughts of things that you would say about it or recommend to people that we haven't already talked about?
If you can get Kelly as your mastermind leader, do that.
You're funny. So, well, yes, I have. It's been a great joy to actually be with you guys and go through it. And so we had an opportunity to do the leadership game. That was really a lot of fun. So that's a blast. But thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Yeah, you as well.
And oh, really quick while we're here, do you as you know, we do the mastermind classes to raise money for the Foundation for Changing Lives Foundation, and 100% of the proceeds that people pay to go through the mastermind benefit those in need. Do you have any experience that you would like to share related to changing lives and how they've helped people around you?
Yeah, it was a real gift and blessing to a couple that I had the privilege of officiating their wedding, and they went through this tragedy on their wedding day after the ceremony as they were headed to the reception. Car accident could have taken the lives of their 4 children. They all ended up in the hospital with serious injuries. And I just reached out to Kelly and Changing Lives and said, "Is there anything you can do to help?" And they really, really blessed this couple. I mean, what they did, what y'all did for them, um, teed them up for recovery and
Yeah,
set them on a great path. So that was huge. Thank
that's
you.
great. Well, and you're always such a good supporter of the foundation through either purchasing something or giving us, credit when credit's due and referring people to us. So thank you so much for your support.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, if you haven't checked out the cards that Kelly's made, those are worth buying. I just put in a fresh order.
Yep, some gratitude cards, right?
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Steve. We appreciate you.
Likewise.